Welcome, Star Siblings. I'm so excited to talk to you about this full moon that's taking place on the Virgo Pisces axis. This might be my favorite axis, and you'll see why shortly. The characteristics of these signs are themes we as a collective are moving towards, but at a very subconscious level for most. That's partly why I'm feeling so inspired to shine light on these energies today, as we explore this full moon taking place at 5 degrees Virgo on Saturday, February 24th at 6:31 Central Time. In this video, we'll be diving deep, as always, into the qualities and symbolism of the sign Virgo, the key traits occurring alongside this moon cycle, some perspectives for us to contemplate with oracle messages, and of course, we can't have a Virgo as the star of the show and not include some practical steps to work with these energies. Although I don't have any natal planets or points in these signs, they are deeply tied into my lifestyle and life purpose, which can be seen by their house placements in my chart. Hence, the other reason why I'm looking forward to discussing today's topic. But before we do, I just want to share a personal update and some changes to my channel. Seems appropriate since Virgo rules my 11th house, which governs social media, online communities, and pursuing your dreams. And Pisces in my 5th house, which rules entrepreneurship and creative projects. Stella Sage is my channel where we explore holistic healing practices inspired by the cosmos. As the month of February comes to a close, it'll mark the completion of my 2nd month on YouTube. Yay! I have definitely learned a lot since I began, maybe the most apparent thing being my overly optimistic posting schedule. On point to today's topic, since Virgo is all about routines and holistic health. It's going well with these offerings and I'm loving the holistic approach, but I just want to adjust the expectations a bit. So I plan to continue making content of these types. However, the occurrence will be more fluid with the weekly energies, both cosmically and personally. You can expect a minimum of 2 videos a week, but the type and upload days will vary week to week. However, I will also continue to consistently create dedicated videos for each full and new moon with similar format to what you're about to see. So if any of that appeals to you, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you know when something new is ready to be seen. I'm also super curious which style of my content that you're most interested in. So comment below and please let me know. No worries if you're the quiet type, just hit that thumbs up for me. It will help the algorithm notice me and push my content out to more like-minded people who might share these same passions. The last thing that I want to say is I'm wearing one of my shirts that I designed and sell on my online boutique, stellasage.com. I'm wearing it because I thought it was so fitting for today's topic. Seeming how Virgo is an earth sign that rules over the 6th house, which includes pets, they're also known to be perfectionist and focused on self-development. So it says, maybe I'm just the crazy overachiever type. Because of all the plants and the 3 cats. Get it? Crazy cat lady, crazy plant lady, overachiever, Virgo energy. All right, so let's get to it. A full moon occurs when the sun sits opposite the moon, causing tension between the 2 brightest luminaries in the sky. Full moons hold a powerful spiritual meaning in astrology, highlighting the push and pull between our human egos and spiritual intuition. Anything that was hidden from view or submerged in our subconscious comes to focus during a full moon. Moon cycles can help us connect with the greater rhythms of life, facilitating structure for our earthly existence by creating a routine that holds space for our spiritual practice and connection to our intuition. But it's up to us to set aside any preconceived notions and open our minds to what the stars are suggesting and what our emotions are revealing. So let's look at a couple overlying themes this Virgo Pisces axis is calling our attention to. In context to the current transits, there are 2 major themes of highlighted importance. The first is service versus sacrifice. Virgo is often linked with the concept of service and self-improvement. Those influenced by Virgo energy are driven by the desire to help others, often through practical means such as organization, problem solving, or healthcare. On the other hand, Pisces embodies the archetype of sacrifice and transcendence. Pisceans are compassionate and empathetic souls who may willingly sacrifice their own needs for the sake of others or for a higher cause. Virgo is associated with health and wellness, emphasizing the importance of self-care, routine, and the maintenance of our physical body. Virgos may excel in fields related to healthcare, nutrition, or holistic wellness practices. Pisces, on the other hand, is associated with healing and spirituality. Pisceans may be drawn to therapeutic or artistic pursuits that facilitate emotional healing and spiritual growth. This is the 2nd full moon in a row to be taking place at 5 degrees. The number 5 is associated with change. You may have noticed this theme of change becoming redundant in multiple different transits that have been at play. After all, change is the only constant. But we're living in an age of a monumental shift in energy as the collective is rising to new levels of consciousness, the 5D reality, aka the new Earth. If you're curious to learn more about the numerological and astrological significance of the number 5, then I recommend you watch my Leo full moon video as I went into it in great detail. So I'll link it in the description box below. Here's a chart for you to see which whole sign house this lunation lands in based on your rising sign. If you're like me and appreciate a more customized perspective based on your Placidus chart, then look at which house 5 degrees Virgo lands in your chart. And this will tell you which aspect of your life is being illuminated by this full moon. On this channel, I like to dive deep into general themes so all of us personally can intuit our own charts. We all are unique beings on our own timeline, so I believe that you are your best reader and advocate, as long as you're knowledgeable, of course. And that's why you're watching this video. I'm just the one that's obsessed with diving deep into all of the layers and then enjoy talking about it. So let's look at these pieces that I've uncovered together so that you can see how this all fits for yourself. And then I'd love to hear about it in the comments and see how your experience might resonate with others' journeys too. Now, let's focus on Virgo. Virgo is the sixth sign of the zodiac. In numerology, the number 6 is often associated with harmony, balance, love, care, and nurturing qualities, responsibility, and service. We can see how these themes tie into astrology with the 6th house governing various aspects of daily life, health, work, routines, service, and our responsibilities. The 6th house deals with the minutiae of daily life and how to structure that. So let's dive deeper and look at these aspects in relation to Virgo energy. The symbol for Virgo is often depicted as the maiden or virgin, holding a shaft of wheat or grain. This symbolizes purity, fertility, and the connection to agriculture and harvest. The sun travels through this part of the sky from August 23rd through September 22nd. Virgo is often described as analytical, practical, methodical, and detail-oriented. People born under the sign are known for their precision, efficiency, and organizational skills. They have a strong sense of duty and responsibility, and often excel in roles that require attention to detail and problem-solving abilities. Virgo is associated with service to others and the desire to help and heal. Individuals with strong Virgo placements may find fulfillment in professions related to healthcare, wellness, counseling, or service-oriented fields. They derive satisfaction from making a positive difference in the lives of others. Virgo's meticulous nature can sometimes manifest as perfectionism or a tendency to be overly critical, both of themselves and others. Learning to balance high standards with self-compassion and acceptance is an important lesson associated with this sign. But why is Virgo like this? Well, let's look at the basics so that we can understand. But first, let me get my jacket because I'm a bit chilly. Okay. So Virgo is an earth sign, along with Taurus and Capricorn. Earth signs are known for their practicality, stability, and grounded nature. Virgo's earthy energy emphasizes a focus on the tangible material world and the importance of being rooted in reality. Mercury is traditionally considered the ruling planet of Virgo. Mercury governs communication, intellectual processing, and analytical thinking. Virgo's association with Mercury lends its qualities such as attention to detail, precision, and mental agility. The agility is amplified by its modality as a mutable sign. The mutable signs are Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Mutable signs are adaptable, flexible, and versatile. In the case of Virgo, this adaptability is expressed through its ability to refine and improve systems, processes, and routines. I don't know if you can see this. You want to come up here, Binksy? Okay. Binksy wants to be a part of the show. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. In the case of Virgo, this adaptability is expressed through its ability to refine and improve systems, processes, and routines. We can see Virgo's systemized nature also correlating to the parts of the body it governs. Virgo is associated with the digestive system and the abdomen. Virgo's attention to detail and analytical nature is seen in its association with the digestive process, which involves breaking down and analyzing nutrients. This bodily process nods back to its planetary ruler Mercury in regards to the mental digestive process and its specialty in breaking down information into bite-sized chunks. This connection to the digestive system also highlights Virgo's focus on health, wellness, and physical well-being. And in this case, we can see how it also nods to its modern co-ruler, Chiron. Chiron is an asteroid that was discovered in 1977. It is often referred to as the wounded healer due to its symbolic representation of our deepest wounds and the potential for healing and transformation. Chiron encourages us to embrace our vulnerabilities and engage in the healing process so that we can cultivate greater self-awareness, compassion, and resilience in our lives. In a natal chart, Chiron shows what we can help heal for others, but cannot fully heal for ourselves. Now let that be our segue into the current transits, starting with Chiron sitting conjunct the North Node in Aries. The North Node represents our soul's purpose and karmic destiny. This aspect is highlighting a significant part of our karmic destiny, which involves confronting and working through our deepest wounds and insecurities relating to our sense of self, self-image, self-worth, self-expression, and is urging us to heal ourselves by living authentically. It's encouraging us to embrace self-discovery and self-care so that we can self-actualize and fulfill our soul's purpose. Since this rare aspect happens to be occurring at the same time the moon's brightness culminates in Chiron's domicile sign of Virgo, it's illuminating the need for us to consider our wounding in regard to certain ideals that we've placed on ourselves that might be limiting our growth and healing. This moon is wanting us to see our unhealthy patterns that are rooted in perfectionism, self-sabotage, overthinking, as well as feelings of guilt and/or resentment in relation to sacrificial behavior. It wants us to make peace with the initial trauma that created these patterns of behavior and recognize how the repetition of these behaviors has formed an unhealthy habit that could be inflicting greater trauma by overworking the nervous system into a constant state of survival mode and affecting your physical, mental, and spiritual health. This aspect is encouraging us to confront our wounds with courage, openness, and self-compassion, recognizing that our greatest strengths and confidence can emerge from our deepest vulnerabilities. So look at your chart and see which house Aries resides for you based on your rising sign. Or look at your chart and see what house 17 degrees Aries resides in your Placidus chart. For me, this conjunction is taking place in my 6th house, which just so happens to be the natural domicile of Virgo. See, I struggle with ADHD, which makes me feel insecure about my seeming lack of ability to hold a consistent routine, which has a negative implication on my ability to work a typical job. Thankfully, the Aries energy in this house helps me to balance this out a lot, seeming how Aries is the natural entrepreneur of the zodiac. And like I said before, Virgo sits in my 11th house, and I have been consciously working with this transit by sharing my vulnerabilities publicly on social media, hoping that my story and authenticity can serve in a way that can be healing for others who might relate, but also as a way for me to rewrite the negative mental program that tells me that people will think I'm a narcissist if I talk about myself. And as a Libra rising, I have a tendency to sacrifice my authenticity so that I don't risk making others feel uncomfortable or insecure. And because I've experienced so much trauma related to how I'm perceived by others, I have a tendency to overthink, over-explain, and perfect things as a way to reduce the chances of it being misunderstood. I'm at the point in my healing journey where I'm recognizing that by sharing my thought process in the hope of relating, in turn, it seems to more so repel people, as if I'm being too intense or too much. And the feeling of rejection and not being liked is hard. But at the end of the day, I know that by remaining strong in my authenticity, I'm no longer rejecting myself. And truly, that's more important for my overall health. The last thing I'll say about this aspect is that it's important to discern what's healthiest for you at this time. The unhealthy patterns I mentioned before aren't all inherently bad. Everything in life is about finding a healthy balance. As long as you are mindful in the behavior, it's serving a purpose, and it's not causing detrimental effects on you or others, then it's not unhealthy. The cosmos are just prompting us with an invitation to be real with ourselves as we take a good, hard look. So spend some time contemplating on how these themes apply to the Aries and Virgo houses in your chart. Obviously, not everyone's healing journey will involve confronting your vulnerabilities so publicly, so don't get scared. Sometimes just bringing consciousness to it has a profoundly healing effect at the cellular level. Jupiter is supporting this endeavor by making harmonious aspects with the sun and the moon, and wants to bless us with the freedom that that truth can bring. Jupiter wants us to grow and expand and doesn't function well when we're trapped under limiting beliefs. And with Venus next in line to aspect Jupiter in a square aspect, this is suggesting that these limiting beliefs are related to love and relationships, self-worth, our personal value system, and or material resources. However, Venus is traveling in a conjunction with Mars in the innovative, insightful, and exciting sign of Aquarius. So you may be feeling a rejuvenated sense of vitality and enthusiasm at this time. So this aspect with Jupiter could also manifest at the other side of the spectrum, where there may be a tendency to overindulge in pleasure-seeking activities or to have extravagant desires. It's essential to enjoy life's pleasures and embrace opportunities for growth while also being mindful of our practical limits and responsibilities. By finding this balance, we can navigate this aspect with grace and wisdom. That square aspect between Venus and Jupiter takes place the day after the full moon on Sunday. And then Mars squares Jupiter the following day on Monday, which can infuse you with a surge of energy, motivation, and enthusiasm. You may feel more ambitious, adventurous, and eager to take on challenges and pursue your goals with vigor and optimism. This transit encourages you to be bold and proactive in going after what you want. You may be more willing to take risks, assert yourself, and pursue opportunities for growth and expansion. But again, it's essential to find that balance here in regards to assertiveness and aggression, enthusiasm and impulsivity, especially during this transit. Be proactive in pursuing your goals, but take the lessons of this Virgo moon and avoid overdoing it or neglecting important details in your haste. Practice self-discipline and moderation to make the most of this dynamic energy. But the conjunction between Mars and Venus will help us find that right balance with greater ease and flow. These planets represent masculine and feminine energies, and their conjunction can harmonize these polarities within yourself and in your relationships. You may find a greater balance between assertiveness and receptivity, passion and tenderness as you navigate your interactions with others. It's a favorable time for romantic encounters, passionate expression, and creative pursuits. Embrace the energies of love, desire, and harmony, and allow yourself to fully experience the richness and depth of your emotions and connections with others. Now to the last transit, and arguably the most important. This moon is opposing a stellium in Pisces with the Sun, Saturn, and Mercury. The Sun represents our core identity, vitality, and consciousness, while Mercury governs communication, intellect, and thought processes, and Saturn represents structure, discipline, and responsibility. Since Pisces is associated with spirituality, intuition, empathy, and compassion, when these three planets align in the sign, there's a potential for a deepening of our connection to the unseen realms, having heightened intuition and a greater sense of empathy towards others. It's a time for introspection, spiritual growth, and exploring the depths of our subconscious minds. However, since this Virgo moon is opposing these planets, it may be illuminating a reality check of some kind. This Virgo moon is opposing its planetary ruler Mercury, which is also transiting the sign of its detriment, Pisces. So this is probably something you haven't wanted to focus on. And Saturn is putting a hard stop to that mentality. With Saturn's influence, there's a need to confront limitations, establish boundaries, and take responsibility for our actions and decisions. Saturn represents structure, discipline, and responsibility. When it conjoins the Sun, there's an emphasis on self-discipline, maturity, and the need to confront reality with honesty and integrity. In Pisces, this conjunction may bring a sense of seriousness and pragmatism to our creative endeavors, spiritual pursuits, and emotional boundaries. And Mercury with Saturn wants you to pause, reflect, and establish a mindset that will offer tangible and practical solutions for your overall well-being. This transit invites us to navigate the balance between dreams and reality, idealism and pragmatism, and illusion and clarity. But this energy is extremely potent because on Wednesday, these three planets are all joining at 9 degrees, making this a Mercury-Saturn Cazimi. This is a rebirth for these planets, beginning a whole new cycle in regards to these themes. So it's important that you work with this full moon to understand and release what patterns are no longer serving you so that you're not carrying these with you into this new cycle. Now, to finish this up, I want to share with you a few oracle messages that I was reminded of by these energies of the Virgo full moon. So the first one is from the Magical Spirit Oracle deck, which is one of my absolute favorite oracle decks. And it's actually the moon card in this deck. And it says, what if your strangeness is actually your brilliance? And it has duality, hidden gem, secret power. 444. And it says, I am discovering magic treasure hidden within me. Okay, so let's look at what it has to say. There's something about yourself or your life that you have been judging harshly. A characteristic, a perceived flaw, personality type, or secret interest that has become an insecurity. Perhaps something that makes you different. Something you believe to be negative in your life. Maybe this thing has caused others to have a negative opinion of you. This has caused you to want to hide or dismiss it. The universe is asking you to reconsider and question this narrative. There's a gem that needs your recognition to shine. Will you polish it, letting it unleash its powers? It has so much to offer and teach you. This weakness you have could actually be your strength. What if it led you to a huge awakening? What if this trait that seemingly hinders you actually helps you in much more profound ways? What if you can learn to embrace, accept, and love it instead? Only then can you be fully realized and empowered by it. Often our gifts may be disguised as trash. We may see our blessings as curses, even though they have so much magic to give us and others. There is duality to everything. Connect and meditate with the moon about what your secret treasure is. The moon is a friend for the lonely and misunderstood parts of ourselves. Practice accepting the quirky parts of you that you resist. When you do, they just may lead you to interesting places, lead you to create unique and fascinating things, lead you to feel more whole than you ever felt. Almost nothing is more valuable than this. This is worth much more than the opinions of others. I love that. So that's one practice that you can do during this full moon. And then the other card that I thought of was, it's called the Mirror. Self-reflection, writer, individuality, big picture. And then the affirmation spell that goes with it says, I honor the full book of my life, every chapter that I write. And the message that goes with this is the author, the story, the mirror, seeing our full self, not just parts. It can be so easy to get lost in one chapter or one page of our life. But remember, we've got a whole book going and so many more pages to go. Focusing too much on details can cause us to lose our grasp on where we are. This can cause us great inner turmoil. Zooming in too close to our life can make us feel that we're not doing enough, haven't done enough, are not enough. We feel unworthy or lose sight of our main goal, to find wholeness and fulfillment by living our dharma and unique purpose. To overcome our unique obstacles and receive sacred gifts of transformation at different checkpoints in life. It doesn't happen at once. We're in this for the long game. Have you forgotten all that you have already been through and overcome just to get to this point? The chapter you are currently in? So much has happened and you have grown so much. You just can't always see it. Don't skip ahead. Enjoy the chapter you're writing now. With this card comes a positive omen that something soon will happen to unlock more character development within you. That is something that leads you to a deeper knowledge of who you are meant to be. Something that helps to bring you home to who you are. It could be a moment of realization or even simply a personality trait of yours that is alchemizing into something greater. And the practice that goes with this card is to adopt a zoomed out perspective on your life every now and again, especially when you feel behind, unworthy, or lost. Look at your whole self in the mirror. Remember to be patient and that there is a bigger picture to all of this. Imagine your life as though it is a book, remembering that you have so many more pages to fill. You are becoming more you with every day that passes. And I love that because Virgo is all about the details and really zoomed in, and understanding that perspective and zooming out and seeing your life as the whole book can help with that perfectionism or that being really critical of yourself and coming back to that holistic approach to self-care. And then speaking of which, the last message I want to share is actually from the Crystal Magic Tarot. And I thought of the Queen of Cups card. And in this book, the talisman for this card says, I'm showing loving care to myself and others. And the affirmation associated with this card is, I actively nurture healthy and wonderful relationships every day. And their interpretation for this card says, the patron saint of self-love, compassion for others, and leadership in terms of setting a good example of how to ignite, build, and sustain lasting positive relationships. The Queen can represent glowing romantic love and also indicate that your relationships are deepening and growing healthily. As an attitude or approach, this Queen reminds you to take care of yourself before looking after others. You can't give to others if you have nothing left to give. Be as kind to yourself as you would a BFF. On the shadow side, this Queen can point to codependent, overly emotional, possibly toxic relationship bonds, which need rebooting or even severing. With this card being a Cups card, it's associated with the water signs, so Pisces. And I thought of this card because it is about self-care and making sure that you take care of yourself before you give what you have to others. It's like putting the oxygen mask on before helping someone else. And really, that is the most practical way to live. So I thought that that card was fitting for the themes that we talked about today. So following Virgo's suit, challenge yourself to think critically about what action steps that you can take to overcome unhealthy patterns and limiting beliefs, even if all that you can come up with are impractical solutions. The brainstorming is more helpful than you may realize. But the easiest step that you can begin doing is subliminal reprogramming by listening to these types of meditations while you sleep. And better yet is to make your own. Not only will this be custom tailored to your own needs, the act of creating the affirmations is a conscious practice of changing your perspective. And then listening to it will be rewiring these patterns at the subconscious level. Take some time to look over your calendar, plan things out, see what's coming your way so that you feel more on top of things. Clear out any mental, emotional, or physical clutter. Virgos love a clean and organized space. And this will go a long way when it comes to your overall well-being. So with Virgo's discerning eye, sift through your emotional clutter and organize your heart's desires with clarity and precision. Healing begins when we acknowledge and address our inner chaos. Virgo teaches us the beauty of simplicity when it comes to healing. Strip away the unnecessary, focus on what truly matters, and nurture your heart with gentle, practical care. When Virgo's practicality meets the realm of emotions, it's guiding us to approach healing with a grounded mindset, embrace realistic expectations, and celebrate every small victory along the way. In the realm of self-care, Virgo teaches us that small, consistent acts of kindness towards ourselves pave the path to profound healing. Remember, every detail matters. Virgo reminds us that healing isn't always glamorous. It's often found in the daily routines and practical habits that support our well-being. So make sure that you take care of yourself. And with that, I'll leave you. I hope that you liked this Virgo full moon deep dive. Please like this video, share it with your friends and family, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. I would love to get to know you. Until next time, shine bright, star siblings.